Good morning, everyone. I'll be presenting a paper on analysis of factors predicting the visual outcome in acute post-cataract surgery endophthalmitis. Post-operative endophthalmitis is a dreaded complication of cataract surgery. It adversely affects the visual outcome. The incidence ranges from 0.02 to 0.26%, although it has declined in the recent years due to sterile precautions, rapid and precise identification of microorganisms, and advanced treatment modalities. The final visual outcome still remains poor. So the aim of my study is to assess the factors which can predict the visual outcome in patients with acute post-cataract surgery endophthalmitis. We conducted a prospective analytical study at Aravinda Hospital, Madurai between Jan 2017 and June 2018. We included consecutive patients who presented with clinical signs and symptoms of endophthalmitis who presented within 6 weeks of cataract surgery. Those who presented with features of endophthalmitis secondary to other surgical procedures, traumatic endogenous endophthalmitis, toxic anterior segment syndrome, and patients with poorly controlled diabetes were excluded from our study. We collected the baseline demographic details and surgical details from the medical records. We admitted all the patients and all of them underwent an immediate diagnostic aqueous tap or vitreous tap or primary core vitrectomy. We collected the undiluted vitreous samples and sent them for gram stain, KOH, cultured in blood agar, sabourated agar, thioglycolate broth, and brain heart infusion broth. All patients received topical moxifloxacin or topical voriconazole in suspected fungal infection, and intravitreal injection of vancomycin and ceftazidime was given for all patients, and dexamethasone in selected patients. Based on the culture report, specific antibiotics were given during repeat intravitreal injection or vitrectomy. Those who worsened with intravitreal antibiotics underwent core vitrectomy. Best corrected visual acuity was tested using Snellen's chart at discharge at first month and third month. Visual acuity at third month follow-up was considered as final visual outcome. Those with a vision with more than 612 was considered as good outcome, and less than 660 was considered to have poor outcome. 60 patients were included in our study with a mean age of 61.1 years. We had 15 patients with phacoemulsification, 43 had underwent SACS, and 2 had underwent ECCE. The operating surgeons included both trainees as well as experts. Duration of surgery was noted to be less than 15 minutes in around 73% of the patients. Intraoperative complications were noted in 13 patients, of which 6 had posterior capsular rupture with vitreous disturbance. On the day of presentation, 3 patients had scleral wound infiltration, 5 had corneal infiltrate, and 2 had melted cornea. Primary core vitrectomy was done for 7 patients because of poor media clarity and poor vision at presentation. These were my culture results. 41 patients were culture negative and 19 were culture positive. Among them, 11 patients showed the presence of coagulase negative staphylococci, and the remaining were Pseudomonas, streptococci, fungi, Delphia acidovorans, and Citrobacter cocer. This picture depicts the trend in visual acuity with more number of we had 162 hand movements vision within more number of patients in this group at admission, whereas the trend has improved with more number of patients in 6.6 to 6.18 groups at first month and third month follow-up. So these were the baseline characteristics which we assessed and their association with good visual outcome as well as poor visual outcome: age, gender, diabetes, type of surgery, intraoperative complications, time of presentation, the presenting clinical features, as well as the microbiological culture and the intervention done. So univariate result analysis results have shown that age less than 65 years, male gender, absent FM or IOL, absent hypopyon, and diabetes had a good outcome, whereas presenting visual acuity of less than 660, poor media clarity, and negative culture were associated with poor outcome. When we did a multivariate logistic regression analysis, we found that three factors independently predicted the good visual outcome. Absent hypopyon had 19 times higher chance of getting good visual outcome. Absent fibrillary membrane of the IOL had 15 times higher chance, and non-diabetics had a significant inverse association with good visual outcome. We had a negative microbiological culture as the only factor predicting the poor visual outcome, which had they had a 18 times higher chance of getting good poor visual outcome. Other studies where they analyzed the association of clinical picture with the visual outcome. EVA study has shown that EVA study and Tara Prasad et al. Study has shown that vision at presentation was significantly associated with the visual outcome. So to conclude, absence of hypopyon, fibrin or IOL was significantly associated with good visual outcome. Diabetic patients with good glycemic control can have good visual outcome. Negative culture in endophthalmitis is associated with poor visual outcome. So these patients should be treated aggressively, and absence of infection doesn't mean there is no organism. Newer methods need to be adapted to find the causative organism. The strength of my study is that we have analyzed extensive list of prognostic factors, and we've included ECC, SACS as well as phacoemulsification. The limitation is that we have small and we have used only conventional culture methods to identify the organisms. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. If we have any questions for her, please.
Dr. Tarni, what is the most common organism identified in your study? And what is the correlation between the type of organism and the visual outcome?
Sir, actually, only 19 patients were covered. Among them, 11 we had coagulase negative staphylococcus, sir. The visual outcome in coagulase negative staphylococcus patients was more than 624, sir. They were having a good visual outcome. Only those with, we had 2 patients with pseudomonas who had poor outcomes, sir.
We have studied that correlation,
Yes, sir.
type and the outcome.
Yes, sir. That was another analysis.
Dr. Charlie, did you find any correlation between the type of incision, clear corneal, scleral, and the outcome, final outcome?
Sir, we couldn't find any significant difference, sir. We studied that also.
Okay.
And did you find any reason for these cases? From where it came?
Sir,
During any of the retrospective analysis? The source of infection?
Sir, that was not a part, sir. We didn't find the cause.
Okay.
How many number of patients had undergone vitrectomy in such patients?
Pardon,
Such cases? How many number of patients had undergone vitrectomy in the
Undergone?
vitrectomy?
Sir, 7 patients underwent primary vitrectomy, sir. Then some 10 patients underwent post-intravitreal. They didn't improve and they went for secondary core vitrectomy, sir.
Post intravitreal, how many days you wait for the vitrectomy?
Sir, we waited for 48 hours, sir. We first intravitreal injection we give and then we wait for 24 hours. We'll just observe for 24 to 48 hours. If he's improving, then second, if he's improving, then we'll go for a repeat intravitreal. If he's not improving, then we'll go for core vitrectomy, sir. Or if he's worsening also.
What was your protocol of drugs for intravitreal?
Sir,
was it antibiotics only or with that DEXA as well, intravitreal DEXA?
Sir, if there is severe inflammation and if we did not suspect any fungal infection, then only we'll go for dexamethasone, sir. Like like hazy media, we can see the fundus, but the details are not so clear. Then we'll give dexamethasone only in selected cases, sir, if they have severe inflammation. But no, if we suspect fungal infection, we are not giving, sir. Not in all cases, only in selected.